We want to start things off with a traffic alert for you all this morning. Westbound I-90 is fully blocked right now near Ritzville, and I-90 eastbound is partially blocked at this time as well. Washington State Patrol says that there are multiple collisions in that area. Now, at this time, they have not said when these lanes will be back open. We do know, though, that Life Flight has been called to the area. We're still working to gather more information for you at this time, and we'll bring you more updates as we continue to learn more. And we also have a couple of school delays to report this morning as well. Washtenaw School District is on a 1-hour delay due to icy road conditions in the area. There is also no preschool for the district as well. La Crosse schools are on a 2-hour delay this morning due to freezing rain. Of course, again, we'll keep you updated here on Up with KREM all morning long if we receive any more notices of schools delaying or closing this morning. Well, good morning and thanks for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Yeah, a lot to get to this morning, and a lot of this has to do with the weather conditions right now. So let's get over to our weather expert now, meteorologist Thomas Patrick, tracking the latest on all of this. So Thomas, what's going on?
Yeah, it would appear that the freezing fog probably having an impact on some of the road conditions, especially to the west of Spokane. And we've noted that via visibility reports, some of the camera images in that region as well, and now some of those incidents that you just heard about. We are under dense fog advisories until noon today, and it does appear that the West Plains of Spokane towards Ritzville and then Washtenaw and La Crosse probably getting the worst of that fog kind of in that highlighted area, whereas along Highway 195 hasn't been quite as bad, though there are reductions in visibility anywhere between Deer Park, Spokane International Airport reporting a quarter-mile visibility, and all the way down towards Pullman and through the Palouse. Again, not the worst of the fog, but seeing those visibility reductions. Any fog or freezing fog will likely linger through the rest of the morning hours, with, again, the advisory going until noon today.
New for you this morning, the man accused of killing a family of 4 in Kellogg waived his right to a speedy trial.
31-year-old Major John Kaylor's defense team filed the waiver on Monday. His attorney and the prosecution also agreed to go to mediation before December 16th. The mediation allows both sides to negotiate key issues without going to trial. Issues that can be referred to mediation include the possibility of reduced charges, agreements about sentencing recommendations, possible plea agreements, and the handling of restitution. Prosecutors say Kaylor admitted to shooting and killing his 4 neighbors in June. If convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. A new trial date will not be set until after that mediation happens.
Also new for you this morning, a Lapwai mother and son were arrested in connection to a murder. Federal prosecutors say William Ailey murdered a man on the Nez Perce Reservation earlier this year. After a manhunt that involved 8 law enforcement agencies across 3 states, U.S. Marshals arrested him in Oregon on Monday. Ailey's mother was also arrested for allegedly helping her son get rid of evidence and evade police. If convicted, Ailey faces up to life in prison. Happening today, Washington Governor Jay Inslee will be in Moses Lake for a ribbon cutting on the site of a new battery materials plant.
So Sila will supply key materials to electric vehicle manufacturers in order to make them charge faster and travel farther. Now, the plant expects to hire 500 full-time employees once it opens. Inslee will also discuss the state's investments in sustainable housing with Habitat for Humanity. More than 1 million new homes must be built in the next 20 years in order to keep up with demand.
Also happening today, the trial for a former Pasco police officer accused of murdering a woman back in the 80s will begin. Richard Aguirre is charged with first-degree murder for the death of 27-year-old Ruby Doss back in 1986. DNA evidence connected him to the murder back in 2015. He went on trial for this murder before, but that ended in a mistrial when the jury could not reach a verdict. In this new trial, a judge, not a jury, will be the one reaching the verdict. Happening today, the Euclid Road Bridge in Spokane County is opening back up. You may remember the bridge closed in 2019 because of safety concerns. The project cost about $4 million. It included tearing down the old wooden bridge and building a new one out of metal and concrete. To celebrate the finishing of the project, there will be a ribbon cutting ceremony at 11 a.m. this morning.
Well, the Spokane City Council officially passed the 2024 budget, but some of the council members were a bit hesitant about passing it. This morning, our Nicole Hernandez is joining us live from downtown right now. So, Nicole, can you tell us more about what some of these concerns that council members had?
Yeah, Channing. So Councilmember Michael Cathcart says this 2024 budget that council just passed is technically legally balanced, but when you look past 2024, that's where the numbers start to be a little bit iffy, not really add up. So Michael Cathcart is not the only council member that had some hesitancies and was concerned about this year's budget, but ultimately, like I mentioned, the council did pass the new budget, mostly how Mayor Woodward had it laid out. The Spokane Police Department is getting the biggest boost in funding. They're getting 17% of the city's general fund. That comes out to an extra $12 million for the department, so a total of $85 million next year.
There's not a single thing I hear more often than public safety. And so it should be the largest part of our budget, and frankly, it's not large enough.
Some council members, though, think the city should help fund other parts of public safety, like the fire department. They got just under a 2% increase, bringing their budget to $47.6 million. But City Council President Lori Kinnear says the fire department's equipment is old and needs to be fixed. Now, another thing to note, many council members were frustrated about how this process went. They say this whole budget process was more difficult than it needed to be, and now they're asking that new Mayor Lisa Brown's administration starts working on next year's budget as soon as possible. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
This morning, an update on the P12 saga. The Washington Supreme Court is blocking a previous ruling on who would control the Pac-12. The last two remaining universities in the conference, Washington State and Oregon State, are seeking full control of the governing board. A Whitman County judge previously granted that request, but the other universities challenged that ruling, appealing to the state Supreme Court. The block will stay in place as the court decides whether to review the case or transfer it to the State Court of Appeals. The deadline for that ruling is on December 12th.
7:08, and our weather conditions have been frigid and foggy again for this morning. We've seen fog more often than not so far this month, and today is no exception. Certainly very low cloud cover in that live picture over Coeur d'Alene, as our temperatures are still in the mid to low 20s across most of the inland northwest. So where conditions are foggy, we would consider this a freezing fog, and thus we are getting some light ice accumulations, almost rime ice, and some exposed surfaces outdoors. You'll certainly notice that, but it could make some roads and bridges slippery across the inland northwest this morning. There are your current temperatures, teens and 20s, just like yesterday, but overall calm conditions for today and tomorrow until we get to a snowfall chance this Friday.